Tanner.
Can we start over?
No.
It's like Alex was Alex was thinking, he's like, how do I begin this epic episode of the podcast? I knew exactly how.
No, this is staying.
Hey everybody.
No, we're gonna go song. Hey guys, welcome to the Experience Podcast with me and someone else.
And someone else, and a new song, and someone else.
And someone else.
I think we covered all of them. Yeah.
Was that Blake?
Yeah, he wants to get back in.
Let's get back in.
Yeah, we were just... What?
I think it was Barron, wasn't it?
No, he's here, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, so then someone else as well.
It's someone else.
Okay.
And someone else.
We got all of our bases covered.
So let's stop beating around the bush here. We just watched...
You get the full title right.
Inside the Mind of Aaron Hernandez.
Made by
Netflix. I guess produced.
It's a
Netflix original.
Netflix original. Limited series.
If you're not familiar with Aaron Hernandez, he's a former tight end.
And then a wide receiver.
Yes, yeah.
He played tight end for the New England Patriots, and then he was charged and subsequently convicted of murder, and then he
acquitted,
and then once again convicted, and then he hung himself and committed suicide. And this documentary was basically about this whole ordeal.
And this happened within the last 10 years.
Yeah. So it's pretty big news. If you don't follow football, though, you may not have heard about it, but it's a pretty big deal.
I think it's pretty national.
Yeah, I think.
And they talk about that, like he's a big name. So
yeah. So yeah, that happened. We just watched it.
And Tanner had a lot of
pretty gripping. Well, yeah. I just kind of remember the name back in 2017. I guess I remember
young Tanner
Aaron Hernandez. Well, that's when he killed himself. I remember hearing that name a lot on the news. I kind of had no idea like who he really was as a player, or who he played for, but he was a football player. So that's pretty much all I knew going into this, was that he was a football player. So
you knew who he played for?
I didn't know.
You knew he played for the Patriots.
How did you come out of it?
What do you mean?
You said you came in knowing that, but then how did you
come
out?
Well, obviously I know exactly what you just said, because that was what we just watched.
We'll get to that later. Andrew, go ahead.
I did not know a ton about Aaron Hernandez either. I mean, I had heard the name and stuff like that, but I'm kind of on the same page Tanner was. So.
Okay.
So leave you hanging.
Yeah, so one of the things they brought up in the last episode of the miniseries was CTE, which stands for... which stands for... I'm going to stall for a little bit of time because it stands for...
Why would you bring that up?
You could have cued Alex to pull it up.
Okay, so we're gonna
chronic
traumatic
encephalopathy.
We're gonna call it CTE though. Whatever. It's basically just trauma, brain trauma from
chronic brain trauma.
Repeated
brain.
It comes from just repeated blows and playing football because he played
brain
football.
Encephalopathy. Chronic traumatic encephalopathy.
Thank you, Alex.
Otherwise known as CTE.
It comes from repeated injuries to the head.
Football.
Not just from the football, but to the head. You can get it from anything, really. I mean, if you're in the mining industry and you just have constantly just some rubble falling on your head, but actually that can happen. You know, it doesn't have to be football. It's linked to football for again because that's
it's a very contact sport.
Yeah.
No, but it's like it's also everyone knows about football. It's very in the media. It's
they talked about safety.
The biggest TV show every year is the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And there was one former San Francisco player who kind of just talked about it as like a media built on violence and how violent and dangerous it is. And then it was kind of ironic, or it was just kind of funny because they cut to, who was that? Was that Kraft?
No.
Or was the NFL commissioners?
Goodell,
Rodgers.
Well, they cut to both of them.
And he was like, "Yeah, football's as safe as ever. So if you're a mom and you have a kid,"
that was Kraft. Yeah,
that was Kraft.
Yeah, but then Goodell said like,
"I'd advise them to
the sport's so competitive and it's we're doing well."
Maybe it is he said, I think, as safe as ever, which
maybe
is true.
He said,
I mean,
which is true definitely because if you watch football from like the 60s,
they go after people's heads.
But they're like barely their helmet that they're wearing is like
leather. It's a piece of
actually, it's like leather.
Personally, I think MMA is a lot safer. I'll probably have my kid do that instead.
Yes.
But yeah, so it was just kind of funny, and then he obviously came out with CTE and
Who?
or Aaron Hernandez, and just was still super violent. You know, as safe as the NFL is in playing for it, he comes out, and then of course he had a troubled home and trouble growing up,
which we learned about in the
which we also learned about in the doc, but which certainly didn't help. But you know, he also had issues of his or like he was how am I trying to say it? What did they say about his sexuality? He was just he had like, issues with coming out because there was like
his fatherhood was kind of the traditional, you know, man's man is what they said, and so obviously
he struggled with his sexuality.
So and he's in a sport where very few people have come out at all.
Yeah.
So he had a lot of pressure on him and kind of exploded as a response on certain people and just was kind of panicked and paranoid and so that's kind of what we learned is what happened in this documentary. And where was I going with this? Basically, we were talking about CTE and
would you let your kids play football? Is the question you posed.
That was the question I posed because I mean, obviously, there's a risk when you play football, a huge risk. Maybe, probably, definitely more so than
I would
sports,
say most
right?
sports. Yeah,
it's just contact, full on contact. Every single play is something physical is happening. Someone's bound to get hurt. So we're talking about this. Would you let your kids play football or such a contact sport? Let's go around.
Andrew, go ahead.
Andrew.
I think you should answer the question first.
Oh, answer the question. Yeah. Okay. So if I were a father, obviously every dad wants to throw a football with his kid and play like that, but I don't know if I would let my kids play in high school. Or
I would really encourage them. I think a lot of kids now you can start
in middle school.
Like you can start.
You can start in elementary school.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's like what the hell? The little.
I mean, I played 1 year in elementary school. My brother did too. My brother's a couple years. He's in college now, but he was a big high school athlete. You know, he almost played like Division II, maybe baseball in college.
Oh, wow.
He didn't, because it was too much. Like time wise, and I think he just lost the passion a little bit. But I come from a very like sports centered family, but we never played football. We each played like 1 year, and that was it.
But when I let my kids, so I would kind of just try to encourage them because it's important as a parent to encourage your kids to be healthy and active, but not to play something so contact heavy. Like I would encourage them to maybe try swimming. That's a great way to get in shape.
You can crash into a wall.
Okay, you can drown.
As a former swimmer, but I will say I drowned 13 times.
Like you can drown.
Or something like tennis or something like that. What's the worst thing ever? You get hit.
You hit the ball.
So I don't think I would encourage my kids, unless when I have kids, and this is like 20 years in the future.
Like 10 years.
And when they're able to play little league football,
a couple years ago.
Hopefully it would be like a virtual reality simulation, and then there would be no.
I mean, there's alternatives
to playing football.
Yeah, you can play flag football. But I played flag for a number of years.
Yeah.
But that's not what gets watched. That's not what gets views. So
but I'm saying if you want
the football experience, then you can play flag football or touch football.
You can play flag football.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
a lot of people have made money off of flag football.
And I think there's I mean it'd be a long time from now, but like there's rumblings that the NFL could have if the CTE stuff continues to be an issue, and if it gets even further or becomes a bigger problem, like the NFL could theoretically switch to the flag.
Actually,
these are like low level rumors. These are low rumors, and that would be like if
the NASCAR has been ruined over them adding safety pads to the walls, and no one's died in like 20 years, and its viewership has just crashed into the floor.
Is that terrible though?
I think people watch to see like bad crashes, and people don't even get into
superior.
Well, that's what they talk about that in the doc. People are looking for violence, right? Yeah. People like football because it's violent.
Yeah.
And so like flag football, obviously.
So you take that out,
devastating.
People still watch football?
I don't know.
I think the most popular sport that's not violent is probably basketball. And even that's not a little
soccer.
bit.
Soccer worldwide.
Soccer. Soccer's a little bit violent.
It's just as violent as like basketball, I would think.
I would
I guess
it's not on the level of like football or MMA.
No, you're right. It is a little more violent. Hockey's very violent.
Yeah.
But it's not as popular as. I don't think it's as popular like basketball or soccer.
Football. It's just, I mean, hockey. You kind of need.
It's international. Yeah.
I think that's part of it.
Internationally, it's bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'd actively encourage my kids to play tackle football. You know, if they really wanted to, and I'd made, some attempts to be like, go play basketball or baseball or swim or something like that.
Piano?
Music, something completely different. But if it's, sports or something, if they eventually just come to me and they're just, please let me do this kind of thing, I would let them play, but I don't see myself actively encouraging them to play tackle football, I guess, just because, I don't know. There are other sports, and I guess the risks can be, kind of heightened in football. And that's just a little scary, I guess.
Yeah, as a parent, you want to minimize risk to your child, so doesn't it make sense to, kind of dissuade them from playing football?
Yeah. There are the arguments that it's good for team building, and football is really a sport about you got to know your role, because if you don't do your job, then generally, I never played tackle football. Well, from what I hear, it's like if you don't do your job.
Listen, I'm a veteran of tackle football.
Yeah,
my 1 year.
Our 1 year professional here. It's if you don't do your job, then the whole thing kind of goes down. So it's good for team building is kind of what I hear, but I guess personally for me there are other sports you can learn those same kind of character skills and then not have the trauma risk involved.
Risk of trauma. Yeah. Okay. Daniel, what do you think?
I'm in the same boat as Alex, pretty much. Yeah, it'd be tough to. I think it's very. How should I phrase this? It's. I don't see how you can encourage your child to play football now. Even in the last few years, we have so much more evidence of CTE, right? Not just Aaron Hernandez, but plenty of other players. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think you guys already covered it.
Yeah. Well, I guess another thing I've also heard. I come from a not exactly middle class background or whatever, but if you come from a background that maybe you don't have a ton of money and the educational opportunities are more limited, it can be really attractive, especially if you if your son's coach tells you that your son's pretty good at football and has a chance to have a future in this. Yeah, it's pretty, especially if they might not have a lot of opportunities elsewhere. Can be really attractive to be okay, you're good at this, we'll do a lot, pursue it.
As opposed to other opportunities.
Well, but also football is tough to play as someone from a lower socioeconomic class, though, too. That's why basketball is more popular for people who are not as wealthy, because for that you just need a ball, right? Or you find a hoop. Yeah. Football, it has maybe the most equipment of any sport.
But
that's lax, bro.
Lacrosse.
I spent $1,200 on a stick.
Lacrosse too. Yeah, that's why lacrosse has that reputation for being for wealthier people too.
But at the same, I guess I don't know too much. I've heard people bring.
No, I'm sure that's a thing. I'm just saying yeah, I think it's almost not the opposite of deterrent.
An incentive.
Yeah, an incentive not to play because it's it's too expensive. We can't pay for your pads and the ball and the helmet and the pants and the shirt, jersey and the shoes and the whatever.
And the risk of injury, what if they get
risk of injury.
But I don't know. I guess if this is kind of your only shot sort of thing.
Yeah.
And maybe the funding. I know a lot of schools tend to fund their football programs pretty well.
I'm talking about little
league, pee-wee kind of football.
Yeah, because that's where you would get started. You wouldn't know. Obviously, once you get to high school, you've been playing
long enough. Yeah, that's true.
Unless you just, some people. I've heard some people
just getting started.
Just get started in high school.
I'm sure if you're a kicker, you can start in high school.
Well, kickers are often converted soccer players or whatever.
South Carolina's kicker was a converted soccer player.
So a lot of college kickers are.
Yeah.
And like punters too.
Yeah.
So it'll be a lot of fun to watch the Super Bowl tomorrow with this in mind.
You think that's why they released the documentary? Kind of.
They probably just released it when they made it.
Yeah.
Because they've been making it over the past years.
What incentive would they have to release that?
Well, to release it at a certain time. I mean, of course.
Oh, I mean, that makes I see what you're saying, because this isn't sponsored by the NFL.
This is like
It is.
talking about.
It is not.
It is not.
I don't think so.
Is it sponsored by like a union
the
NFLPA?
The NFL Players Association.
I mean, it's Netflix. So it's
No, not even that, but like an association for like. I mean, maybe, yeah. I mean, I suppose that would be what we're talking about. Actually, the Players.
The NFL Players Association, which has been very vocal about player safety, obviously.
Yes.
So they're they're like the union for NFL players?
I suppose. Yeah.
I'm pulling it up. Let's see.
Well, yeah, I imagine to probably capitalize off of
the
chatter about the Super Bowl. Release it kind of soon.
So Chiefs or Niners?
Chiefs, all the way. So yeah.
I'll probably go Chiefs as well.
Daniel?
Although I might have gone Packers if they had won there.
I think I think it's the 49ers.
You think that's who's going to win? Or who you're rooting for? Because I was talking about who I was rooting for.
Yeah, I guess my caution is
I was saying who's going to win. Is that what you said?
I don't even know. I kind of just said Chiefs or Niners.
Yeah, that's Chiefs or
Niners. I just said who has better stadium food.
So I have some fun factoids about the film, guys.
Yeah.
If you notice, Aaron Hernandez's media family didn't really participate that much
in the actual.
Yeah, like his mom.
They were never like in a talk.
Mom and brother.
Interviewed, yeah.
Well, his mom, they kind of had recorded the phone calls. They definitely had a strained relationship.
Yeah.
And then stuff about his sexuality was not included in the original film because it was unsubstantiated. But they included it afterward. They did enough
investigation. They found that one guy.
Yeah, that's cool. One, yeah. By the way, this was
and his brother, like,
and it was
also basically
true.
Yeah. And it was also the friend, right?
That was like an after the fact. Yeah.
The friend was like, by the way, we made out. Let's see. I can't find anything. So the two production companies that made, so obviously Netflix is a distributor. Production companies are Blackfin and Make.
Blackfin. That sounds familiar.
I didn't look up production companies because they think they're smaller. But basically, it didn't have any input from one way or another from the NFL.
So probably coincidence.
I don't know. I think they definitely released it they tried to get it out during football season.
Yeah.
Because it's a bigger.
I was gonna say, like, it probably wouldn't make sense to like release it during like game
college. Yeah, no, college football, like not during last semester at all, because it just would have been swept under the rug. You know, there's more every day. Last semester there was football news. You know,
but during the playoffs, this was released a couple weeks ago. During the playoffs.
Off season.
During the NFL playoffs.
College football. I only
think college football. Yeah,
off season.
That's it.
This is the off season. The off season started like January 14th or whenever Clemson played.
Yes. What was I gonna say?
You had something?
I don't know. What were you?
So I forgot. I guess I have CTE.
Yeah.
That's one of the symptoms.
You got it from watching the documentary.
So yeah, by now
against the wall.
I mean, he definitely does that.
Yeah. I do. Yes.
I hear some banging. I'll be honest.
So by now, I hope this episode has come out and the results of the Super Bowl are out, and
it will definitely be out after the Super Bowl.
When is this supposed to come out? Like 2 weeks from now?
I don't know. I may hold on to this.
Okay.
You
can release it on the Super Bowl.
Yeah, go Chiefs.
Otherwise, you want this to be the Valentine's Day one?
This could be the Valentine's. In which case, happy Valentine's Day. Brain trauma sucks.
Team of Paul's new album's coming out on Valentine's Day, though.
There's a Valentine's Day present.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, Valentine's Day. Keep your loved ones close because you never know when they'll develop brain trauma and like shoot you.
That's true.
So that's the Valentine's Day theme in this episode.
That's heartwarming.
Yeah. So hopefully the Super Bowl results are out by now. because it'll be Friday.
They're doing a recount.
2 weeks after.
I mean, we already saw the Super Bowl.
Oh, we have
we have seen the Super Bowl, and the Chiefs have won 57 to nothing. So.
It's definitely not going to be as high a scoring game as people think.
It'll be higher than last year.
Oh, yeah. But
score predictions? What do you think?
2-0.
2 point.
I would say it's like 28-24.
Really?
Yeah.
Classic maneuver.
Classic maneuver.
We'll go 31 to 27.
Like some of the over-unders are like crazy high.
96 to 800
Basically.
Wow. Okay.
Basically.
Cricket scores.
I'm thinking 20 to 19. Chiefs.
What do you think this? You think it's
19,
pretty low. 19.
Yeah.
How do you get 19?
That's
I don't know. I was thinking this entire time. I was like,
You get
19.
That's
But how do you get 19? You can do it.
you can, but that's like a touchdown.
That's like some score.
And then you could do
It's a rounding error.
two touchdowns with two 2-point conversions and a field goal.
Yeah, but
Right. Yeah.
Or a TD and 4 field goals.
Or a touchdown with a 1-point conversion and 4 field goals.
That's probably more likely, actually.
The Chiefs have been very good in the red zone in the playoffs.
Oh, 100% I agree with you.
I'm
not arguing with you.
What I'm saying is they've been a little in over their heads in the playoffs. Is what I'm saying. Offensively.
In a good way, though.
Yes, but I'm saying it's not sustainable.
You don't think?
It's hard to score a touchdown every time you go to the opponent's 20-yard line. Alex, you played Madden.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a drag route specialist.
Yeah.
Those can be hard to convert in the red zone due to the. I really have no idea. Congested in that area, though. I have no idea.
Brandon, what are your predictions? Super
Bowl.
I don't know who's winning.
Really? Take a guess.
Well, I've heard the Chiefs. I don't know who the other team is.
it's a number.
It's a number. It's the only other team that's a number.
Think of California.
It's a pretty big
The
number.
49ers?
Yeah. Nice.
That's who's playing the 49ers.
They're both red.
They are.
Yeah.
Well, the 49ers are like a bird.
This is a Chiefs household, by the
Well, I
way,
mean,
so
now
you can't.
Apparently.
You can't have a opinion.
Yeah, I love Kansas City. Their barbecue is good, and they have a jazz and blues thing too.
I have no connection to Kansas City at all.
That's what I agree.
What about San Francisco?
I've been to San Francisco once.
Same.
That place is so hilly.
Yeah.
You guys go through?
I've started biking across campus. And you know, those like the little hills that we have on campus, you notice them when you're biking. Every time I think about San Francisco, I'm just like, I hope nobody does.
How does someone do I know what you're talking about.
I don't think I could even like ride my boost board in San Francisco.
You can't.
Like
If you went up one of the
can't.
hills, the downward force.
I was driving and I was at a red light and I was afraid I was going to slip down.
Yeah.
Like actually.
Yeah.
Like the car behind me came to me really close and I was like, you know what to back up at. Things could go wrong. I was in a car I didn't really trust too, so.
Yeah, so
why didn't you trust the car?
We'll talk afterward. Take a squirt.
I've been squirting from this Gatorade bottle like an actual
What was
football
Mark
player.
Zuckerberg thinking when he built San Francisco?
When he built San Francisco?
It's too hilly.
Silicon Valley.
Although I've heard it's gotten pretty, it's kind of gone to shit over the last.
San Francisco?
That's what they say.
I mean, it sounds like...
The housing is just a huge.
Yeah, you have,
this
I
is
guess,
fun.
really rich people.
I mean,
Tech magnates. And then, you know, regular people who...
Tanner.
If you're not making $400,000 a year, you're homeless.
Oh,
It's very binary.
400,000.
Your two options: make above $400,000, live on the street. That's pretty much all you can do in San Fran. We call San Fran. You've been there once.
You've been there once.
Bay Area. Yeah. Have you guys anyone go to San Francisco and go to like Oakland or the Oakland Coliseum?
No.
Oh.
Man, you walk off the BART, and it kind of feels like you're in prison when you walk to the Oakland Coliseum. So it was funny.
Why?
It was like
Where's
old
the funny
concrete
part?
stuff. Funny? No, it's just there's like barbed wire, and I don't know. Oakland's not as, at least the area that place is in. The Oakland Coliseum is not as spruced up, I guess. So you get off and you're like, that place too. But you're just like, It was kind of funny. We took a tour of the Oracle Arena where Golden State used to play. It's my basketball school. Anyway, yeah.
Wait, that's what
I don't
you did for
want
your
to
basketball team?
We got a basketball game tomorrow.
That's what you did for your basketball team? You went
No, it was.
Oh,
it was
there's
a
basketball team?
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Catch Georgia Tech playing Notre Dame.
That's
That's
the women's
where
team.
we're
women's-
The women's team.
Yes. Hopefully, by now the score will be released for that game, and Georgia Tech will win. Predictions: 89-87 Tech.
For a women's college game?
Wow.
That's a very
All
high.
right, fine.
Yeah, they're going to take all the
25,
points scored.
24.
Okay,
All right.
take the average of those two numbers for both teams. That's my
50,
It's gonna be somewhere in the
51.
60s. It'll be maybe 50s.
You should just make this podcast into like a score prediction podcast. And
There are already 50,000 of those.
yeah.
Oh, 400K at home.
You think the
But this one-
podcast market is oversaturated? Think about like the score prediction podcast.
Yeah. Because we're not talking about like betting lines. We're just predicting the score.
Well,
Yeah, I did 170.
what differentiates us from other score prediction podcasts is our lack of substantiation.
Yeah.
Knowledge. We look at the two teams, we weigh them objectively.
Well, I mean, I think Georgia Tech has
Georgia
a
Tech-
nicer color scheme
Yes.
of the gold, white, navy than Notre Dame has with the navy, gold, and
So that's
white.
an
And then
obvious
green
plus 3
sometimes,
point
which is
differential
kinda weird.
in there.
Yeah,
In
what are
favor.
they doing with green?
They're the
I know that,
Yeah.
but like it just doesn't work.
I mean, like,
So there you go. They got minus 3 points.
fashionably no, but I mean, if you're 48 and you want to impress your 48-year-old dad friends and get a green Notre Dame like quarters it, like, what's up, guys?
Is that what your parents are doing?
No.
Yeah,
I've
wait,
seen
that
it.
sounded
though.
rather
It's just like,
specific.
oh man, those are the real colors. I have no idea what I'm talking about. The green looks kind of weird with their other.
Talk about
colors.
CTE.
Y'all do see like Georgia Tech alum get angry that like we wear too much navy and stuff. It's
People
kind of
get angry.
interesting because like our
Yeah, what do you
official
guys think about
colors are like
White and gold.
Okay,
yes.
the thing is, navy looks much better on anyone than wearing gold.
Yeah, I
clothes.
don't have a lot of gold Georgia Tech.
What are you wearing right now?
But I think white looks better than
Wearing
navy.
gray.
White?
I'm wearing. There's a gold T-shirt. I'm
Like the band uniforms
Yeah.
are pretty good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, white.
But like
People could- maybe just
regular,
on me.
regular
Maybe.
clothing.
Yeah, just
you're not gonna wear like I don't
Not
know,
on
gold's kind
me.
of weird.
Yeah, gold's
Or
kind
it's
of
weirder
weird.
than navy or
Well,
white.
I mean,
would just
people
be
don't like the
wrong.
color yellow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
like yellow
an
is
unattractive
kind of-
color, and
No,
you can't really ever nail gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's gotta be shiny, reflective. How do you make it?
What about sugar ray?
It's,
You're nailing it.
It's a pale
it's
gold.
like pale yellow.
It's old gold.
But it's
or
for the
whatever.
It's
Spirit.
old gold. It's pretty. Yeah, this is. This is a
mean-
throwaway shirt. It's a pajama shirt.
I'm not sleeping. Anyway.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
But I mean, I think just like in general, if you wanted one of those nice pullovers or something, you want
Yeah.
a navy.
Hold on, can we go back? It's a throwaway shirt, right? Is it? You've been wearing that all day. We've been out.
Oh, I was wearing it under
Saturday
something.
I'm just saying that there was a girl with us.
Once, one girl.
Yeah, because Elizabeth was too good to hang out with us.
She was doing stuff.
Too good for us.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Too good for us.
No, I mean, I just navy just looks better on people. So I think that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think it's harder to differentiate like in the stands, but
yeah,
If I'm going out.
because a lot of teams already wear like blue,
exactly. Blue's
Darker
the most-
colors can be a little tricky too.
Yeah. Especially like the Georgia fans that wear like black or something.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, we need all the fans we can get. That reminds me of the. I'm losing my voice if you can't tell. That's why I was coughing. Oh, it's going. It's going.
You take some water.
Take a squirt.
I need to.
You don't have any.
Subscribe to the Experience.
Holy
podcast
shit.
on
Yeah.
Anchor.fm.
Oh my god.
You don't have
Jesus Christ.
any other water bottle. I mean, you have to borrow Annabelle's.
Well, I mean, you get G2 power from.
I'm just wondering what he would have done like last year if he had lost his.
Jesus.
God damn it.
Once again, subscribe to the Experience podcast on Anchor.fm
Slash the experience. Yeah, the dash.
to hear more of.
Yeah.
What Tanner's exploding over here.
I'm good. I'm good.
Wait, who's this? What's
Because he wore that gold shirt.
Is this yours?
No.
No, Graham's friends left it here.
For all you
And
confused
it's off.
listeners, it's a weird looking
It's like a weird. It's a European power converter.
Oh, you know what?
Are we about to go
Barrett
into the
is
study
from
abroad
Europe.
story?
No, like look at this. Like you couldn't just find a single power block. Yes,
That is a
He has to
combination.
plug it into a. Okay, let's go through this. This is a micro SD plugged into a micro SD to USB-C converter, a USB-C converter that plugs into a European outlet, and a European outlet converter to an American plug. There are 1, 2,
There's too many
3
connections going on.
middlemen on this thing.
How much
Literally,
electric
it could all
power?
be.
That's insane.
This is an ECE question.
You're so
How much power loss? Or
Yeah, it's
whatever.
You gotta do that. That's like an
80% of
actual
power
power
just
problem.
goes into heat.
Like holy crap.
British thermal units.
Yeah,
Is that in
The EU is standardizing their power adapter though.
Oh, that's
Ooh,
good.
is
They
really?
should.
Well, England
It's
isn't.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
as long
England
as
really
that.
fucks it up
Uh,
because they think they're hot shit now because they.
yeah, they're actually
Brexited.
gone now.
And so do you.
Well, I never Brexited. Brexit.
Should British children who are not in the EU play American football? That's getting CTE.
Well, they
And
play
I think
in
Cooper
London
applies.
now.
That's true. Every
They play American
Twice a year
football
now.
twice a year.
Twice, is it or is it 3 times?
Who?
How many games
Some
in London?
NFL.
The NFL brings
Games, yeah.
yeah.
They just travel over. I think it's 2 games a year.
You know,
I mean, that's some.
put the Cowboys
Correct us in the comments section when you're talking about Tanner's
Yeah.
whatever was going on. Just also mention how many London games there are. But yeah, they go to London a couple times a year.
To try to like see if they can garner up.
Yes.
Essentially,
Exactly.
They they'll pretty much sell out. I'm pretty sure.
But it's like, yeah, they probably don't even sell footballs up in England, like as we know, like American footballs.
You can't find them in like a Costco, like you can find,
You have to get them off of Amazon or something.
Yeah, but they're like they don't live in caves. They know what American football is. You
Yeah.
can
Thought
still
they did.
watch it.
We know what soccer is.
You can still watch. They can still watch it. They can still be fans. You know, a lot of
They
people.
don't have to do pay-per-view if they can't find it illegally on the internet. But
You can get like satellite TV now. You can get it. It's on Fox or ESPN.
I just think that they're
They get ESPN.
at this point too devoted to their main sport of soccer
Football.
to like
Yeah, no,
actually
I'm not saying it's their
start carrying
top
another
sport there. I'm just saying like they probably have plenty of fans. Otherwise, they wouldn't be
Yeah.
flying teams over.
It's about them.
Like Oakland flew over
What's
to
up?
London. Do the time difference in your head. It's a lot.
8, maybe.
9.
I
I think
think
it's
it's
around
8.
I think it's 8. I
Yeah,
did it.
it's a lot.
It's 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
5 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot.
They're going to Vegas. Wow.
Yeah, they're basically already in Vegas. They already announced it.
Wait, they're moving? Really?
They are moved. They are not all moving. They have moved. They are the Las Vegas Raiders.
Wait, I remember that. That was recent though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they've been building a stadium for like a year and a half now, but they like officially announced it basically at the end of the season. They're like, yeah, we're the
Was
Las
Oakland that bad of a neighborhood?
No, it's deteriorated into that.
Yeah, they just never got the fans, and like Vegas is attractive.
It has weed now.
Lots
for
of
Aaron
money.
Hernandez.
It does?
Oh well.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is
So
it?
could you go to, like, a
more than
football
half
stadium
the
with
states in the
weed?
country have?
I was gonna say a lot of places have.
I think it's like 33 states.
Only
That's legal.
Only Vegas, not Nevada, right?
Well, for gambling.
Only Vegas, I think.
For gambling.
no, for weed.
Oh.
Like you can like probably smoke in the city. Right?
Yeah,
You can't.
I think it's 33 states that's legal.
I thought 33 was like medicinal. Or maybe we are still in the Stone Age in Georgia, and it really is 33 recreational.
Maybe, I don't know.
There's no way it's 33.
I don't think it's 33
Alex is gonna pull that up.
It's
On
not.
it.
It's not.
Jamie!
Jamie, pull that video up of that deer.
We need like a we need
a Jamie.
person. We need a person in the
Jamie.
booth. We need a person in the booth.
Baron, pull up that video of that
It
deer.
would be Baron.
I like how apes are fucking ripped.
Baron,
Wait, what
you ever smoked
Hairless.
DMT?
Okay.
We just need to change this to the Joe Rogan experience.
Just get a little brief count.
Just say featuring Joe
All right,
Rogan.
legal,
in the title.
legal. So legal, we have like just completely, recreational. Whatever. Talk about something else while I count.
All right, Alex is counting.
Colorado,
There's got to be a
One.
map on Google.
Washington.
He's got a map. He has to
Oregon.
count it though.
Three.
Man, he's got to count it manually.
12. Washington D.C. is not a state.
If it
but
counts, it's proper.
11 states, a district, and then maybe Guam. We got
Still
Guam
a
is
good amount.
territory.
Yeah,
That's
well, I don't
still
know, it's blue on the map.
That's
so.
still over 20%.
How do you get weed in Guam? You grow it, probably. Yes.
And
you import it. It's like $400 a pack or an ounce.
It's probably
you can import anything nowadays.
And then
you have to fly on an airplane with weed.
Or you can ship
Guam.
ships.
How do you put it in
it's
ships?
legal for medical use in almost every state, barring Idaho.
Georgia.
No, it's,
Idaho.
limited THC content in Georgia.
Yeah,
so it's like a little stricter.
Yeah, you can get like
Nebraska, South
CBD
Dakota,
oil.
and Idaho. Okay, yeah, because of the potatoes. Restrict medical use of marijuana. Wow,
Interesting.
that's pretty wacky.
Wacky tobacco. Wow. So yeah.
Is it for the podcast? Are we done?
Yeah, thanks for listening to the podcast. Now that you know about the Aaron Hernandez story and about
Actually, I don't think they really do.
Okay,
For that,
go
you
watch.
should go on
Go watch
Netflix.
It's on Netflix for a limited time. It was actually
No, it's not a limited time. It's an Netflix original. It's on there forever.
It says it's a limited time.
It's a limited series.
So
why would
what
it
is
be a limited time?
What is it limited by?
Limited series just means it's a few episodes. It's like a one season.
It's not 13 episodes.
I thought it would
for
disappear.
4
I
seasons.
thought it was for a limited time.
No, then people would just pirate it.
It doesn't really make any sense. Why would it be?
Yeah.
Why would they not
just
want them
okay.
to watch it? There's no. Well, that happens with like
Everyone
licensing.
type Tanner Dumb in the comments.
I mean, that makes sense with like licensing, right? They only have they just lost friends because they don't want to pay for it. But Netflix made
This is a Netflix original.
Yeah, they distribute it. They didn't.
Yeah.
They paid for it, so.
Watch it. Be kind of sad because it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Well, of course,
but
given the subject matter, you know what you're getting into.
Yeah. But it's insightful, I would say, and worth a watch. Great to watch before the biggest football
sports event
in the
entire history of the world.
Yes.
So yeah, go football. Go Chiefs. Fly Chiefs fly.
That's not how that works.
It's
like chop, Chiefs,
Arrow
chop.
down.
No, what is it?
Chop, Chiefs.
It's like, how about them Chiefs?
I don't think it is.
They say, how about them
Well,
Chiefs?
they do
And
the
then
war
I-
chant.
My joke,
They skip the other teams.
my joke was
Chop,
that
chop on.
I thought that
I
was like
said
the Braves.
roll
It is the
Chiefs.
Braves, but it's also Florida State.
Yeah, they all do it.
Yeah, roll Chiefs roll,
It's not the
fly
best
Chiefs
team,
fly.
though.
Because you know how every single mascot in the NFL is like a bird of some sort.
Yeah.
Neither
So-
team
well, I
is
mean,
really that
So the
close.
Chiefs are also
And
birds.
it's an
so
arrowhead because so it flies to the air.
Yeah.
No,
Go
it's just
Chiefs.
yes.
Patrick Mahomes is going to score 8 touchdowns.
Alex doesn't want his fantasy teams.
Oh really?
It's definitely over, and I haven't
It's
checked
definitely
that.
been over,
Since
and
a long
Alex
time.
did not do well on that.
Yeah, I was doing well, and then I stopped checking.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed this podcast, everybody.
I'd like to thank Andrew and Alex both for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
So today, and I hope you guys have a very happy Valentine's Day.
Is this starting to release on the Valentine's Day week?
Yeah, do it.
Release it in April. Just April 1st.
Happy
April Fools.
April Fools. Just in case. Now this can double as an
Bye,
April Fools
everybody.
Merry
episode.
Chrysler.
Yeah. Happy New Year. Tanner, anything else? Last word.
Merry Christmas, everyone.